I'm making my way back to my roots, one cosmic breath to ascension absolute. The time has been long since I have been home. I am hearing the call of a heavenly song. O infinite being in me, dream awake, and among the ascended my place I do take. In trials of the flesh I have been immersed, and in spite of it all I still have been blessed. After hurting my brother and sister and dishonoring my clan, my part is still vital in God's master plan. I am ending self-hatred, transcending mistakes, a brand new agreement with life I now make. For hiding myself I paid a high cost, time to get back that which I lost. For ending my fear and the will to attack, heaven is open and taking me back. In infinite being I am now awake, and among the ascended my place I now take. Even though she's not able to meet me and reciprocate three-dimensionally, I know that there is an alternate version of her that does this like a champion. So I'm going to shift the dial of my awareness to that version of her that is very elevated in her capacity to share love. Even if she three-dimensionally is not able to pull that off for herself, I'm going to make that deposit in her soul bank with the awareness that it's going to accumulate interest until such time that she withdraws that. Now I am a sacred contributor to her life. You want to learn how to remember the painful past in a forgiving, good way. Because when you do, you're like a house that appreciates in value, and now it's worth even more money. But if you don't forgive, it's like you depreciate like an old car. So you depreciate the value of your beingness. So you could then attract another relationship that's even worse than the previous relationship. Forgiveness is really important. You want to be loving you. See, it's not fair to you to love you more when you're in that relationship than you would love you when you're not in the relationship. See, that's a devaluation of self. You know, it's a way in which your selfhood depreciates. So you're lowering, the worth of you. Now, I get that when you're in relationship and it's a fulfilling relationship, that's your favorite. Probably all of our favorites, who really love the relationship dynamic. But everything is perfect, and that's a good lesson for you too, because you're quite a perfectionist. But the only real path to perfection is perfect acceptance. See, perfect acceptance, that's where you find perfection, when you swallow your life whole, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You don't have to prefer the bad and the ugly, but you do want to give the bad and the ugly its propers, because they are very powerful teachers. The value of the relationship is realizing that you could experience the pain of the loss. And the pain of the loss became an empowerment for you. The loss is a contrast. Through the contrast, we learn to elevate our appreciation, for the thing that contrast is eclipsing. You see, so you ended the relationship. and the contrast of ending the relationship seemed to eclipse your joy. But then that also is the catalyst for you up-leveling the value that you place on joy. And you will therefore be so much more passionate in pursuing the fulfillment of that joy. And you do that not in spite of the contrast, you do that because of the contrast. 'Tis in the name of holy peace that all my blessings now increase, my great abundance now comply with power of my single eye. I bless the darkness, make it right, reverse the tide and free the light. God, make my power ever pure, else let the power not endure. I love and lift my fellow man and woman and understand the master plan for me. There's simply nothing new except that which I always knew. First I spin at speed of light, within, without, come now my sight. Almighty Spirit, Elohim, make truth of this my cosmic dream. Yes, my eye is really single with light, my body does now tingle. Oh, my soul is so brand new, I now know all that I once knew. I'm making my way back to my roots, one cosmic breath to ascension absolute. The time has been long since I have been home, I am hearing the call of a heavenly song. O infinite being, in me dream awake, and among the ascended my place I do take. We align in divine awareness with all of the healing and wholeness that is, was, or ever will be. Feel the vibration of the healing. We align in divine awareness with the resonance of the frequency of love, the frequency of gratitude, of bliss, wisdom, and peace, which is infinite, eternal, omnipresent, all-dimensional. And we lay these elevated vibrations upon the altar of the Most High, as we receive from the Most High unto this ascended love, gratitude, bliss, wisdom, and peace, the blessing, the anointing, the baptism, and the quickening, our ascended love, gratitude, bliss, wisdom, and peace is clear as this ascended resonance are present everywhere and aware every when. We are in the now, ascended love, gratitude, bliss, wisdom, and peace of every time. And the infinite here, ascended love, gratitude, bliss, wisdom, and peace of every space. We are that we are ad infinitum. We align in divine awareness with our ascended freedom, forgiveness, innocence, generosity, inspiration, and magnetism, which are infinite, eternal, omnipresent, all-dimensional, omnipotent, omniscient. We lay all of this upon the altar of the Most High. With every elevated version of who we are in the multiverse, in the fifth dimension realms of ascension and beyond, by virtue of the power of divine choosing, God within us choosing, we choose to remember who and what we truly are, in the recognition that all of the elder versions of ourselves throughout the multiverse carry our identical DNA, yet at a more advanced level of activation. And so, beloved elder versions of ourselves, we receive you now, for you have always had our back, and now we choose to have your back by way of elevating into our alignment with that exalted something that we are eternally meant to be. Always and forever, we receive this divine resonance. So in this now moment, align with me in harmonically converging with all of the healing mastery that exists throughout the multiverse, all the way down the corridors of eternity, bringing this healing mastery into activation from within the inner sanctum of our being. Everything that will ever transpire throughout the universe is contained within the microcosmic presence that we each are. We are the micro container of it all, because we are a hologram of the universe, a hologram of the multiverse. Just as you can take a wave from the ocean, analyze it, and find that every element found within the whole body of the ocean is also found within the one wave. Ascended clan, I'm calling you to guide me on my way back home. I deeply yearn to now return and claim my Ascension throne, the fifth dimension and beyond, inheritance above the sky. To heaven's call I now respond, in higher realms forever fly. Ascended clan, I ask for this not only for myself. Let every being upon this earth partake of heaven's wealth. Even unto earth herself she also would return, to end the madness of this flesh. A fire within us burns. Please help us to remember that we all are innocent, and by mercy and compassion unto heaven we are sent. Resurrection of ascension, and God is found in man and woman, and we all are family members of the great ascended clan. Ecstatic and grateful that we are many facets of one great being. So honored and grateful that we allow ourselves to be in the embrace of all our beloved selfhood, who is in that elevated consciousness that knows that which we are seeking to know, that lives where we are seeking to live, that resonates where we are ascending into resonance with. The joke is on your trials and tribulations, because you, beloved, are eternal, and all of your trials will pass. The painful past will pass away, The painful past has passed away. And used to be's don't make no honey. I see you. I feel you. I champion you. I believe in you. Covering your own sacred ass when you forgive. Because there's an enlightenment in forgiving. And there's a wisdom in forgiving where you are aware that everything that occurs in your life is an expression of your creation, co-creation. There's nothing randomly showing up in your life that you didn't order up into being. It's like everything that your mama has brought to the table. You chose her precisely because she would bring all of that to the table. For whatever reason, you needed to learn and grow through this difficulty with mama. So be the bigger one. Be the elder consciousness and love her right where she is. You know, in some ways, you may very well be the elder. In some ways, you may have evolved way beyond where your mom is. Many times it happens with children. They evolve beyond their parents. But know that she's doing as best she can do for her level of evolvement. And when you're elevated into the victory, you're elevated into that has been eternally going on. Victory doesn't happen when you come into the embrace of the victory. It's your awareness that is quickened. The victory was already going on. And that's the cosmic joke of the thing. You know, the victory is not achieved. The victory is eternally happening. What's achieved is you're paying attention to it. There's the achievement. When you shift the dial of your awareness to the broadcast of eternal victory, that's the achievement. But the victory is an eternal reality, because victory is co-eternal with God. If victory is co-eternal with God, how can there be a time when victory is not going on? How can there be a spot where victory is not? Just like there's no spot where God is not. Because God is the eternal resonance, present everywhere and aware every when. Your life is beautiful. That's why when two beloveds are first in love, in the very honeymoon stages, they treat each other like God. You see it all the time. All the flaws makes no difference. They love each other's dirty draws. Because when one is in the honeymoon stage of being in love, the beloved can do no wrong. See, that means at the very core of their being, they are realizing that they are in relationship with God. They're having a rendezvous with God. Now, the honeymoon stage doesn't always last a long time. Some people only milk a few months out of it, you know. Some people get a few years, you know, but that's, you know, so relationship, more than being a couple, it's a trinity. There's you, there's me, and then there's us. And us is the wisest one in the trinity. Because us is the greater resonance of God presence in the trinity. Us is wiser than you. Us is wiser than me, because us is the combination of both of our energies. Us has got your back. Us has got my back. Us won't hurt you. Us won't hurt me. When you're engaging in the trinity of any relationship that you are in, even when you're engaging with someone that is very negative toward you, remember the us principle. You know, where is that place where we meet, where only God lives? That's the sacred us. See, in the sanctuary of us, the relationship can be as dark and as negative as it could possibly be in the three-dimensional sense. And yet it has an elder dimensionality in the sanctuary of us. Your worst enemy in the three-dimensional moment is your greatest ally, all dimensionally. Loves you so much, all dimensionally, has your back. And so that's what you want to engage with. That's what it means also, that when, you know, someone is behaving in a negative way, rather than casting your attention exclusively upon that negative behavior, you look larger for them. You see the elder versions of them. You see the versions of them that behaves in a much more exalted way. Then you're quickening the us principle of that connection. See, because, you know, the us is where we have a rendezvous with God. Align in divine awareness with every being that has the mastery of saying the sacred yes and the wisdom to know when to say the sacred no. Because that sacred no then is a reflection of your exalted integrity. So feel your oneness. All of the beings who have mastered that. Their mastery is your mastery. Their victory is your victory. Just go ahead and take it personal. take all of the victories personally. And feel the wisdom that when you say yes, it's a full sacred yes. And it's totally in alignment with your integrity. And when something doesn't feel right to say yes to, then you say the sacred no. And then that is fully aligned with your integrity. And let go of the idea that anybody's up the creek without a paddle if you don't rescue them. Don't try to do God's job. There's a part of inner child that's totally at one with God consciousness. See, inner child and God are synonymous. That's why so many of the Holy Scriptures say, unless you become as a little child, you can't enter the kingdom. Those are the credentials that get us back full on into the absoluteness that we've descended from. Because the child is the innocence, you know, the higher qualities, you know, it's the infinite possibility thinker. See, your inner child, that's the part of you that believes any and everything is possible. And you see it with children. You ask, so what do you want to be when you grow up? They say any and everything and mean it all the way from their heart until they're discouraged by adults, until they're negatively influenced by adults. They don't believe anything is beyond their reach. And the toddler really brings it home. What's their favorite mantra? Mine! See, you could have something that they want. They may have never even seen it before. But if they want it, they claim it. They say, mine. And if you don't give it to them, they will cry like it's no tomorrow. Because their nature is such that they don't believe they should ever be denied anything. That's the sacred fierceness of your inner child. It's about a softening of the heart. See, the more the heart softens, and the more spacious the heart is to receive the full magnitude of love, the next thing you know, there's no room for any kind of disorder. Because you're in the resonance of that frequency of love. You just let the love keep having its way with you. You don't have to manufacture and create the love, not even the self-love. Did you know you can't not love yourself? You can let your attention be hijacked away from your eternal self-loving, and you can be in the illusion that you don't love yourself, while at the same time there's this greater expanse of who you are unfolding down the corridors of forever, loving yourself with the passion of heaven. And so when it comes to loving yourself, what makes it effortless is to realize that you don't have to do it. You don't do love. Love does you. You don't do love. Love does you. So you just let love have its way with you. It's that simple. You let love love you. God is infinitely patient with you. And God is not urgent for you to get your shit doodle together. See? God is infinitely patient because God infinitely knows that in due course of eternity, you're going to come into the full-on shining resonance of all that you can be while being in a state of eternal expansion of that. But God is also looking all-dimensional. So God sees the part of you that's simultaneously victorious while you're simultaneously struggling three-dimensionally, you know, regarding eating disorders and things of that nature. So follow God's lead. If God is not mad with you about issues you have with food, who are you to be mad with you about issues that you have about food? See, it's really so easy and so effortless. It's about a softening of the heart. See, the more the heart softens, and the more spacious the heart is to receive the full magnitude of love, the next thing you know, there's no room for any kind of disorder.